The Basement Tenant, a novel, written by L.Z. Sinclaire, narrated by L.Z. Sinclaire.
The warrant came through at 4 p.m. Ruiz had taken the recording, the journal, and Carrie's account to the state's attorney's office, bypassing Area 2 entirely. The ASA, a young woman named Priya Chandrasekhar, who had the demeanor of someone who'd been waiting for a case like this her entire career, had the warrant signed within 3 hours. It helped that the evidence was physical, documented, and horrifying. It helped that the journal was in Margaret's own hand. It helped that the ASA had a grandmother on the South Side who owned her own brownstone and who, when Priya called to check on her that afternoon, answered the phone on the first ring and said, "I'm fine, baby. Why should I be worried?" They went to Woodlawn at dusk. Carrie shouldn't have been there. Civilians didn't ride along on warrant executions, but Ruiz had put her in the back seat of her unmarked car with the specific, unspoken understanding of a woman who recognized that this story belonged to the person who'd found it, that Carrie had earned the right to see the end, even if the rules said otherwise. Elias was not with them. Ruiz had been clear about that. He's a witness, not an investigator, and his involvement complicates things. The family connection, the policeman in your house, he stays behind. Elias agreed without argument. In the kitchen, before Ruiz arrived, he'd spread the files across the table one last time. The property records, the maps, the corporate filings, months of work assembled into a stack he then aligned with the edge of the table, corner to corner, with the same precision he brought to everything. He slid them toward her. Their hands didn't touch in the transfer. She looked at him across the table. He looked back. There was something in his face she didn't have a name for. Not grief, not resignation, something quieter than either. The expression of a man releasing a thing he'd built because the thing was never really his to keep. She wanted to say something. She couldn't find anything that was true and speakable, and the silence stretched between them in the kitchen that seen everything: the wine, the crowbar, the phone call to Derek, the hand across the table, and held it all without explanation. He understood. He seemed to always understand the things she couldn't say, which was either a gift or the thing she should be most careful of, and she had run out of time to decide which. "Go," he said. Just that. She went. The drive to Woodlawn took 40 minutes. Ruiz drove in silence. Carrie sat in the back and watched the city change. The shift from Lincoln Park's curated brownstones to the expressway's gray sprawl to the South Side's broader streets, where the buildings were spaced farther apart and the sky opened up and the light was different, less filtered, less flattering. The light of a neighborhood that had been photographed 1,000 times by people who didn't live there and never captured what it actually looked like from the inside. The brownstone on Maryland Avenue was dark, a 3-story building, limestone, nearly identical to the one on Belden. The same vintage, the same bones. Chicago had built thousands of them in 1890s, brownstones that stood like sentinels on blocks that had been German, then Irish, then black, then whatever came next, the buildings outlasting every community that lived in them. The block was quiet, 2 streetlights working out of 4, a vacant lot on the corner where something had been and was no longer. Across the street, a church, small, brick, the marquee reading, "Sunday service 10 a.m., God is not finished with you." 6 officers, 2 detectives, Ruiz and her partner Chin, a quiet man who said nothing and noticed everything. They assembled on the sidewalk. Ruiz checked vests, confirmed the warrant, spoke into her radio with the clipped efficiency of a person for whom procedure was not bureaucracy, but the architecture of accountability. We go in clean. First floor, second floor, then basement. Nobody goes off script. They breached the front door at 4:47 p.m. Carrie waited in the car.
She'd agreed to this, to staying, to watching, to being the civilian in the back seat while other people did the dangerous work. It was not a comfortable position for a woman who had spent her career entering rooms where she hadn't been invited. But she understood, in the way that she was beginning to understand many things, that some rooms you entered with a press badge and some rooms you entered with a warrant. And the difference was the difference between a story and a rescue. She watched through the windshield as flashlight beams swept the first floor, the second floor, moving through the windows like ghosts. She heard radio chatter, Ruiz's voice, clipped and professional, calling rooms clear. First floor clear, second floor clear. Then silence. A long silence, the kind that sits in your chest and presses. Then Ruiz's voice again, different now, the professionalism replaced by something raw, something that sounded like the noise a person makes when they found what they were looking for and wish they hadn't. "Basement clear. We have her. We need medical."
The end. You have been listening to The Basement Tenant, written by L.V. Sinclaire, narrated by L.Z. Sinclaire. Thank you for listening.